Hi guys, and welcome to another short Blender tip. This is going to be how to create a really basic, quick ice cube in Blender. Um, there's our basic cube shape, and we're just going to tab into edit mode, and we'll choose subdivide, and we're going to increase the number of cuts. I'm going to go up to 3, and then we can increase this fractal number. Now, when you increase that, so I'm going to decrease that down to 2. When you add these fractals, it begins to make the edges a little bit uneven and more organic, like an ice cube would really be. And then you can change the random seed and it will randomly generate different fractals for you of different shapes. So you just want to go to one that you think looks kind of ice cube like, maybe like this. And once you have done that, you can choose this align along normals, whether you want to line up some of these vertices or not. I'm just going to leave those as they are at 0 because it doesn't really make much difference to us. You may then want to smooth some of this out a little bit, so it's, an ice cube isn't quite so angular, so you may want to increase the smoothing a little. And that's basically it for creating our ice cube. So we can tap back out of edit mode. Now you can see that's looking a little blocky, so we would just go to smooth shading, and that will help with things. You can add subdivision surface modifiers if you want to round those corners a little bit more, because an ice cube really would have slightly rounded corners to it. They wouldn't be as angular as this. So a subsurf modifier with just one subdivision is enough. And now we need to add a material to this, and that's going to be really easy. It's just going to be a basic glass material. So we'll come over into Cycles Render, use nodes, and we're going to choose a glass. We can leave all those default settings if you want. You can change the index of refraction if you want down to about 1.35, or you can Google the index of refraction for ice, and once you find that number, you can input that number into the IOR number down here. So index of refraction for ice, if my internet cooperates, you can input into here. So once we have done that, I'm just going to add a little some basic lights to the scene so that we can see how this looks, because right now if we go to rendered, it's not going to look all that great because we've got no lights here. So I'm going to set the global color to black, and I'm going to create a plane which will scale up. So this will be our ground plane, and I'm going to add a camera into this view. So we'll go Tools, Create a Camera. I'm going to switch to normal here so we can drag the camera out on that axis. Let's see what our camera view looks like, and then we can drag this around so it kind of fills our camera view. We'll move our ice cube. Okay, and then we just need some lights. So I'm going to add in a sun, which I'm going to drag up to here. Let's go to rendered view. Okay, and we'll add a few little spotlights as well. So let's put a point light in. I'm going to move that point light, whoops, move the point light over to here. And I'm going to click Use Nodes for our world, and I'm going to put an environment texture on there just to help with how this looks. So I'm going to use a environment map, probably this one. Let's go back to our camera view and rendered. Okay, so that basically is our ice cube. I'm not going to go too much into details of rendering and everything here, but this is basically how to create an ice cube here in Blender that you can then place inside of a glass. So to give you an example of what that would look like, here is something I made earlier. So that's using exactly the same method to create the ice cubes, and we place them inside of our glass of water, and when rendered it looks like you have ice cubes floating around inside of your glass. So that's a very quick tutorial here on how to create ice cubes in Blender very quickly, very easily from a basic primitive cube. Hope you found this useful, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.